Initially, I wanted to save $100,000 when I turned 30. In the early days, when I explained my job to others, they would be confused about what I'm doing. Like, oh, really, man, you can write comics for a living? 我是何瑞明，今年36岁，我是 Volkswagen 觉醒公司组的创办者之一。Morning.
Morning.
这间办公室并不大，2位老板加上员工不过5个人。老板之一的何瑞明每天的工作主要是和同事讨论，寻找合适的题材，再把想法撰写成文本，然后由同事配上漫画发布到网络平台。
I mostly write the content, ideating, and working with the illustration team to deliver a story that I would say is meaningful, impactful, and relatable to people. Our target audience are people entering adulthood to retirement.
何瑞明和搭档吴威俊在2019年一起携手创办了网漫《觉醒工薪族》，以生动的漫画向大众分享理财知识，轻松幽默的画风获得许多人的喜爱。他们的第一篇网漫一经发表，短短几周就有了6000次的转发量。
Actually, nowadays the most valuable comic is not. We started it as a side hustle, so every day we would work on the page after work, 10 p.m. to maybe 2 a.m. in the morning, and we did this for a year before going full time. Back in 2019, I noticed people were very irresponsible with money, so I recommended them like a few websites, but they were not interested. They wanted something like more simple. So my co-founder and I got together to see whether we could help with financial literacy.
他们的故事题材大部分取材于自己和身边人的真实经历，基本上每一周都会上传一篇新内容。
Over time, our page shifted more from personal finance to a broader range of issues. So anything ranging from microeconomics to psychology.
何瑞明和吴威俊相识于义安理工学院，毕业后又碰巧成为同事，一拍即合之下，决定携手创立网漫，分享理财知识。何瑞明负责写，吴威俊则负责画。
我认识瑞明应该是18年了。其实他叫我帮他画这个漫画的时候，我也是没有马上去跟他画，我有等一下子了，我等2、3个月，我才想，哎呀，帮他画了。我最喜欢他一点是可以老实的跟他 argue， 当然是会有摩擦，通常都是为那个故事会变得比较好，而且我们也是没有吵到很像很 personal 这样啦，我们都已经差不多要6年了，还没有倒闭，还没有很像哦我跟你拼了这样，所以应该是还 OK 了。
网漫事业在短短1年后步入正轨，他们也开始以播客的形式分享长篇内容。
Then we can talk about like the piece we published last time. We decided to start a podcast because some issues are not always easy to explain through a comic. On podcasts, the format is longer. You can go more into deeper conversations.
You kind of figure out your groove when it comes to
the tempo,
your work. Yeah.
Actually, how we decide what podcast topic we're talking about is quite haphazard. We also don't have a fixed schedule for the podcast, so the podcasting is more like a hobby for now.
2024年，《觉醒工薪族》推出了第一本实体书，还被翻译成中文、泰语、越南语等不同语言，在多个国家出版，为何瑞明的事业创下新的里程碑。
When we see our book published in many different countries and languages, I mean, obviously there's a sense of pride. So this is the first book we published. It's called The Crash Course on Capitalism and Money. It's a mix of prose and also some comics. So like these are prose and then these are comics. The happiest thing from the book is that my mom actually knows what I'm doing because my mom has a stroke. So she has short-term memory, so she can't remember complex terms like content creator, but she can understand like, oh, my son is an author. And to me that's quite nice.
何瑞明从大学传媒系毕业后，曾从事商务拓展和广告业。2014年，刚进入职场1年的他，接获母亲中风的噩耗。这场变故给了他很大的启发。
Seeing my mom, in hospital, kind of made me realize I needed to take control of my finances. I need to be a responsible adult from this point. So I just thought of this arbitrary goal called 100K by 30 years old.
何瑞明从那时起开始接触理财知识，凭借着强大的决心，开源节流。他在28岁那年，提早2年达成了目标，存到了第1桶金。父亲也开始对他刮目相看。
You need a lot of discipline. You have to manage your wants against your needs. Of course, I'm very happy as my children. They are independent. They have their means to sustain themselves. I always wish them well.
这一天，何瑞明和吴威俊受邀出席一场分享会，谈有关个人理财知识和经验。他们平均每个月都会收到至少1场像这样的邀约。
The sharing session that gave me the deepest impression was when we went to Jakarta for a book tour, and then the queue to meet us was actually like 5 hours, and I felt like, wow, actually our work extends beyond Singapore and made me really proud.
实现了财务自由的何瑞明，现在有更多时间可以做自己喜欢的事情，例如骑脚车、阅读和健身。平时为了保持健康，他也会选择骑脚车通勤上下班。
One of the things I most enjoy about financial freedom is that I get a lot more time, quality time with my friends, my loved ones. I would like to go on a long cycling trip from Singapore to Europe by bicycle, because I think that is one of the most immersive ways to see the world.